All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High, His only begotten Son. Call Halayim La Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakak Radash. All right, the learners, unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone, root and teach well, Wabarakatham, to the hopeful elect. All right, and today through the Spirit, I want to go into a video entitled The Help of the Body. I'm just going to say help of the body, right? And when I say body, I mean the fellow believers, because when you have access to fellow believers, you have access to a whole bunch of men and people that are rooted in the fear of Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? So that means that there's going to be love there, right? And there's going to be help there. You see, so it's highly important not to forsake the assembly and, stay tapped into the body. I want to start right here with, let's see here. I think I'm on the wrong chapter. Yeah, it's 13. All right, this is Romans chapter 13, and I'm going to start with verse 8. It says, "Owe no man anything but love one to another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law," right? Because really the law was meant for us to deal amongst each other. Because when you're dealing with fellow Israelites, the fellow Israelites believe in the Lord. You can live in harmony with them because what? You're basing your decisions and, your decisions are based upon the fear of Yahweh Bashem Shai. His law, statutes, and commandments. You see, loving your neighbor as thyself, like this chapter says. You see, so on and so forth. You're basing your decisions and judgments off of that. So you're around fellow others who you can fulfill the law with. Verse 9, it says, "For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, that thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself," right? So that's how you love your neighbor as yourself. You living according to these various instructions the Lord gave us, right? But only somebody that's a fellow believer will have that mindset. You see, or they'll actually put this in application, right? Because it's the point, verse 10, it says, "Love working no ill unto his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law." And that's why the Yahweh Shai names that's the great commandment. It's to love thy neighbor as thyself, because that's really a inward thing. You have you're not malicious towards your neighbor. You see, and that'll only be shown amongst the fellow believers. But these people that's in the world, they don't have access to people that actually have a pure mindset or pure heart towards them, right? People in the world, they're all about going up their self. They're covetous, right? They want what another man have. You see, they'll mess with another man's woman. You see, they'll steal from him. They'll lie about him, so on and so forth. You see, but I'm gonna tap into the power of the body. When you have the body, you have true friends that you can actually lean on. Versus these people in the world, you can't trust them. This is Sirach 40:24. It says, "Brethren and help are against the time of trouble," right? So when you have true friends, right, you have help in time of trouble. It says, "But alms shall deliver more than them both," because the Lord loves also. Alms is like charity. You see, you giving, right? And the main thing that the Lord orders his men of the Lord to give is what? This word, preaching his word, right? To proclaim the gospel. You see, so that's the main alm you can do is publishing and proclaiming this gospel, right? This word is healing healing the Lord's elect's mind and bringing them closer to him. And that's the ultimate alm. But you also have alms as far as giving. When you have more of ability to, you may give your talents that the Lord blessed you with to help out the body, right? You may have somebody that's very technical, or you may have a brother that's very industrial, able to help people out with building or getting opportunities. That's all alms, right? Well, the reason why I got it is because the beginning of this verse, it says, brethren and help are against the time of trouble, right? Family. And that's where you get true family from, where? Men, fellow believers in this truth, right? This is Sirach, known as Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 8. It says a friend cannot be known in prosperity and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity, right? And you're going to go through adversity when you come into this truth, right? We're in the beginning stages of it right now. And via through having a body, we have fellow believers who are going through the same things, able to aid and help you, right? How do you know that? Let's go here. If I can find it, 1 Peter 5:9. It says, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world, right? So it's other men going through the same hell with you, or they've already been through it and conquered it, and they're able to aid you and help you get through your hell that you're going through, right? Because of their experiences. Sometimes the Lord has more experienced men to go through things, so we don't got to go through the same stuff they went through, right? They were the sacrifice, you see, and also you have other fellow believers who just have the ability to help you. That's the importance of staying tapped in to the body, whether you're in a camp or not. If you're not in the camp, you being in that spirit of, reverence towards whatever camp is nearest to you, right? And then ultimately, hey, you continuously listening and whatever gift the Lord gave you, adding on and helping them out. That's the most you can do. And for those who have the spirit to actually be in the camp, you should have checked in when that time was open. But it's going to be very key having brethren in these coming times that we're coming into, right? Because the true brethren are going to be there through this adversity, while these other people are going to be all for their own belly. Right? This is Sirach 6. I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found treasure. And that's only going to be found via through this truth. Because once adversity comes, that's when people are going to show their true colors. Like when people can't benefit off of you anymore, they're not your friend no more. Even your woman. When shit gets bad, a lot of women, they dip. Right? Because she wasn't really down. You see, this is verse 15. It says, nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable, right? And that's what you get in this body, this truth. You see, you have men that are willing to lay down their lives for you. You see, and they truly believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. So when they're operating amongst you, they're operating off that vibration of the fear of the Lord. You see, treating you as if you're, treating you how they would try and treat the Lord, emulating that when it comes to how they deal with you. You're only going to find that in this truth. You see, this is verse 16. It says, a faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him, right? The true believers, because fear of the Lord means to be obedient, right? The fear of the Lord is to depart from evil. That's quoted in Proverbs, I believe, 3rd chapter. I know in Proverbs 8, the fear of the Lord is to depart from evil. Even in Psalms 34. That's how you fear the Lord, is by doing what he said, right? And that's the only time you're going to find that is those that are being obedient. You will get the true friend, that faithful friend. All right, let's go to here. Let's get these last couple that I had on here. Okay, I had 3 more. This is Proverbs 18:24. It says, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother, like an actual fleshly brother. And that's via through the believers. That's why Yahushua said, my brethren are those that do the will of my Father. Yahushua, who the word calls Jesus, he said that. And it said a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, because you got to be proven to be a real friend. You see, friends got to prove themselves. And most friends will eventually, they'll show that they ain't really a real friend. That's why you have it right here. It says Strong's H. This is for show himself friendly. It says Strong's H 7489. It says to be bad, to be evil, displeasing. You go to the bottom. It says to do injury or hurt, to be evil, to be displeasing, to break or shatter, right? To break asunder, right? To do ill, to punish, right? So it says a man. So you go into NLT, it says there are friends who, quote unquote friends, who destroy each other, right? So they got, so a friend, a lot of people, they're friends for their own occasion, and they'll, like I said in Sirach 6, whenever you go and get in trouble, they won't abide with you. But it says there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother, which you'll find via through the fellow believers, right? So a friend must show himself friendly, meaning you gotta, most people that call themselves a friend, they'll turn on you. You see, or they'll be proven to be not for your own good, right? And this is Proverbs 17:17. It says, a friend liveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity, man. Right? That's why we got the body. Because for men, we're gonna go through things and we're gonna wax stronger like the house of David did, the elect, and grow that bond closer and closer. Because that's why it says the kingdom is within you, because it starts in the mind, our mindset, right? And our mindset is basically kind of resurrecting that love that David and his men had amongst each other, right? Via through the elect, how they treat and love each other. That's being resurrected via through what? The elect. Now, you see, a temple being joined together, of the same mind and of the same faith. You see? So that's what a brother is born. That's what the brethren is for. To be an aid and to show love. And speaking to myself first and foremost, that's something that we try and strive to do daily. Try and be a brother and, be there for your fellow believers and fellow brethren. And the ultimate aim is, furthering this gospel, speaking out this truth, this word, bringing out the prophecies. Laying down your lives, sacrificing your life to ultimately build up the believers and help gather the kingdom of the Lord. You see? Because that spiritual temple is likened to the believers. This is John 13:24. It says, new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, and that ye also love one another, right? So basically having that spirit of selflessness and charity amongst fellow believers. That's what he was teaching his disciples. It says, verse 35, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. So you being a brother, treating your brethren correctly, it's going to show you to be a believer. You see? So that's something that's very important, right? Hence why I named this video what I named it. Having a body, man. The body is a help. I think that's why I named the title, right? But anyways, the point I wanted to go into in this quick video, charity, and the beauty of brotherhood, Lord willing, and edify. I'd like to end it off by saying, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, that burns to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, root and teach well. The next time, come Shalom.